Welcome everyone. Today we'll have a new auto chess warriors guide. Yes, I have been sharing a lot of non-meta, I guess a meme or like unique builds lately, but I wanted to share some traditional, very powerful builds that can still work. These include 9 warriors, 9 hunters, goblins, elves, and also, all the ones that is quite fundamental like 6 knights, 6 trolls. Those builds can still work. So today we're going to look into a high rank warrior build and what are the process of, I guess, going through the warrior build and how to make your warrior build strong. So right away we can see there's at least one warrior in the legendary pool. There's about 3 legendary warriors you can find, including Sven, Troll Warlord, and also the Primal Beast, which are all very powerful warriors. Now, when do you decide to go with warriors is when at the start of the game, there's a lot of different warriors you can find. And I like to pick different pair of warriors just for the sake of having the opportunity to go with warriors. On round 3, sometimes I like to sell all my units so that I can make sure I have enough gold for one additional interest. But for this particular round and this particular game, I decided to keep all the units just for a chance of getting 2-star units. We have a pair of Tiny, pair of Mars, pair of Spirit Breaker, and a few warriors. Now, before anything, it is very important for you to look at your tier 2 item coming from round 3. And this will determine the early game, and this will determine whether you can make the build work in the first 10 rounds. So, it is not a must-have to have Vanguard, but if you plan to play an aggressive build, a melee build like the Goblins or the Warriors, having Vanguard pretty much doubles your efficiency. The damage block is insanely good. So we got Vanguard. And over here, I'm looking for anything that increase armor, and one of the best units to put on the Vanguard is going to be Mars, because he also reduces incoming damage in the front. So we also got a bit of armor reduction. We're looking for anything that gives Mars more armor, like the little buckler, and also anything that gives Mars more resistance and also more life regen. So I leveled up to level 4. I put on 2 orcs, and also the Tranquil Brutes are really good. Because Mars have so much tank ability, he can tank up a lot. Having any form of sustain is amazing. Ideally, I want the buckler as well on the Mars, but I didn't find it this time. But armor reduction is not bad. So this is how I start the warriors. Now, for the cases that you don't find your 2-star warriors or you don't find the Vanguard, it may be a little harder in the early game. But because I know I found Vanguard, I know I can play into the 6 warriors and then 9 warriors, starting with 3 warriors. Now the rest of the fights are pretty straightforward. Because I kept many pairs at this stage, notice I'm not going for interest. There's players that are going for 10 interest, there's players that's going for, I guess, other units, and here we're just keeping, we just keep the aggressiveness and we're not going for high interest. I'm keeping as many pairs as I can and get ready to level 5 after round 6. This is the most aggressive strategy, and you'll see why very soon. So we have 2-star warriors, and this is very powerful in early game. It's very rare you can lose with those warriors, especially with Vanguard, unless it's a very powerful slug. So we're gonna fast forward a little bit. You can see that each time I win, I'm considering how much gold I get. I can get 1 gold for winning the fight, and also 1 gold for defeating my enemies, which is happening a lot, especially with Vanguard and also 2-star warriors. You can play a losing streak warrior, but I don't recommend it because there's a lot better build like the Alchemist and also Aqua build that is better for losing streak and also is more consistent. So around this time, I can see that I am a little short on gold to go to the next level, and the strongest unit I can put on is going to be a tier 3 unit, which is not bad. So as we keep winning, we come to round 8. This over here, I was able to find a purple unit. Any purple unit in the early game is very powerful. So anti-mage, even Chen is very good. So any unit that is in the early game, that is very powerful. Second to that, I also aggressively leveled up. It is not necessary. Adding this additional task is not going to benefit us that much other than the first Savage or the Beast synergy. But that still helps. I did lose some interest, keep that in mind, but my goal is to build a winning streak. You only do this if you have been winning non-stop and you're about to start your winning streak. Do not do what I did over here. Stay on level 5 and also build up your interest if you don't have this early aggressive gameplay. And also you have to keep winning. Now, Back to my warriors. So over here, we slowly build up our economy, and you can see that I have stopped spending, I have stopped leveling because there's no point of rushing to level 7 until you build up your economy. I'm just ensuring that I have the strongest lineup so I can have a win streak. This also protects my health. Nothing too special. For round 10, you want to have at least 14, 24, 34 gold because the golems will give you 6 gold. Over here, you can see I continues to roll, and I did find my Tranquil Boots on the mask, which is essential for more tank ability. I got a little greedy, tried to find the buckler, but I couldn't find it, so ending up with a random item. So I'm only rerolling before the neutral round because I know I can get one more reroll for those neutral items. Nothing too fancy. Over here, I do want to talk about the relic selection. For most of the any build, you want to pick relics that helps with your team. Over here, I could go with the Leafy Essence, but it's much later game. And the magic box is not going to help me with economy. I want to build economy, and I have been spending a bit aggressively. So I sold all the units on the bench. Even before the round end, I'm going to click on the magic seed, and this gives me one additional round of benefiting from the chances of magic seed growing for 1 more gold. So notice that they grow even before the round starts. And this is a little trick I like to do. You get a little more gold. During this time, I will continue to level up my warrior after I have 40 gold, and I will try to keep as less units as I can for the benefits of getting the economy. Any warrior pair will be essential, because right now we're very powerful just with the 6 warrior synergy if we can make it through. But I'm not rolling for warriors until much higher level because we want the purple warriors. So we're going to fast forward a little bit, and I'll have the full replay for you guys to have a look. And yes, we're still keeping all the warriors, and I'm trying to think what are the best warriors to keep. And of course, we're keeping the Pierce. Now, around this time, if you happen to lose your win streak, which happened to me, my master is so tanky he wasn't dying. I literally draw the fight. But unfortunately, I lost my win streak, which means it's good that I have built my economy back because I'm not gaining additional gold for having a win streak. Nothing too fancy. Usually the 6 warriors, if you can make it, around this time from round 12 to round 16, you're pretty much unstoppable, especially with 2-star warriors. You do want to go for 9 warriors as quickly as you can. I don't recommend enrolling for 3-star warriors because there's so many things that can go wrong. You can get better RNG, you can overflood your board, you can get countered by mages, you can get countered by mind control stuns. There's a lot of things that can counter you. Around this time, I'm also looking for things that I can ban to increase my chance of purple warriors, which is how I can win in the later stage of the game. Nothing too fancy. Warriors, after getting 6 warriors, you start to select what synergies of warriors you want to get. Currently, I have the Ox synergy, and I do want to keep a Santa for the Stampede synergy, keeping a Slider for the Naga synergy if we get countered by mages or heavy magic damage. Around round 15, if you can find 3 humans, that's also really good because you gain increasing levels. With Lycan, Conquer, and plus 1 more human, like Crystal Madden can even work. Nothing too special, we continue to level up. So notice all the spare gold I have, I continue to level up. And yes, if you do find Doom or Conquer, it is really powerful warrior, and even 1 star of them have a very strong skill. And notice I'm almost level 8. Currently round 16, almost level 8. And yes, I've still been greedy. I've been keeping my seeds and not selling them because I want to keep them as long as I can. Anything that helps a warrior to have a bit of lifesteal, tank ability, or ways of dealing more damage is very good. And yes, I found a buckler. Having additional armor also means with 9 warriors, we reflect more damage, which is the main source of the 9 warriors damage. You're not here to deal the highest damage, but you're reflecting damage. Problematic units like the Storm or units that's too mobile for the warriors, having Doom is what counters them, and this is essential for the late game. I'm gonna quickly skip a little bit because you can see I'm just leveling, building my warriors, hoping I get purple warriors, and then letting my warriors do the work. Around this time, notice I have built up really good economy. If you don't get this much economy, you can still aim for 9 warriors after round 21 if you want to be ultra aggressive. But if the players you're fighting are not really high rank players, or if you don't want to be too aggressive, you can wait a little bit, slowly ease into level 9, which will give you better economy. And you can see even But with 6 warriors and having the right item on the Mars, this helps me a lot. Look how tanky the Mars is. He literally tanked 4 units while my units are killing him from the side, right? So very essential to have the right items and also build your early game warriors correctly. Now we're pretty much stabilized. We haven't lost much and we're doing okay. We actually did really good. So very rare you become 100%, but eventually you'll see me losing for sure. Because there will be mages, there will be counters. And I even took a Marcy to counter the other players to stop him getting early game Marcy. So round 20, neutral round, nothing too special. We pick any item that helps you benefit your team to survive or dealing higher damage. And now Leafing Essence is really good, because I want high rank warriors, I also want to reduce gold, and later on this will protect my health. I sold all my magic plans with better economy, I went to level 9, start rolling for my final warrior. During this time, I did notice there's some mages or players that want to do magic damage, so I purposely picked Nagas with Slaughter so I can have at least tier 1 magic resistance. But of course, if you find something better, you don't have to go with Medusa, but I want to keep my win streak, so when I found the 2-star Medusa, I put her down right away. It is a little costly to sell her, and I didn't get the Slaughter in, so that's a little slow. I'm also playing the European with over 200 pins. So, around this time, your 6 warriors will start to fall off. This is when you want to get to 9 warriors after round 21. You don't have to be as rushed as me, because in a high rank game, I want to protect my health. And you can see players are going to be super aggressive very, very soon. And yes, I'm still considering which of the units I should ban, because this will help me with my purple warriors. I think I eventually decided to ban the goblins, but I've been looking a while to see which of the units. And yes, I did ban the goblins, and it's not the best ban, but I was wealthy enough to make the ban and still stay on level 9, which is a very good start. But having a good start doesn't mean that you can win the late game. You have to plan ahead a little bit. And yes guys, I did find 9 warriors. I took back the Medusa with 9 warriors, even half of them are only 1 star. They do a lot of reflective damage. Against players, majority of the players are doing physical damage, and the 9 warriors are really good counters. Because here, as long as I can tank up, and I have 9 warriors to tank up, you actually do enough reflective damage that majority of the fight, you either lose very little, or you can win just by tanking up. And yes, finding a 2-star Doom is essential. All the item that was on the Mars goes onto the Doom. Doom is a very powerful unit. You can do pure damage, you can Doom enemies, and then Doom has a really good base stats. So if you're going for any 3-star warrior, Doom is definitely number one of the option. You can go with Troll Warlord, you can go with Sven, but Doom is much easier to find. And here we're facing the 6 Undead. Undead a little scary, but the good thing is, even though they reduced my life to half, I still have tons of armor. My armor helps me reduce incoming damage and also reflect damage back. And the Doom is just a boss. Look at the Doom go. And here he's doing a lot of pure damage as well. Around this time, I will be looking around to see if I am defeating other players and if there's any threats. I did find a Tidehunter. It is not easy to find Tidehunter, sometimes it's not in the game. So if Tidehunter is not there, I'll keep my 2-star Medusa. But if Tidehunter is there, I might use Tidehunter over Medusa for the instant cast. And you can see the rest of the legendaries. So we're going to fast forward a little bit. And here, nothing too special. After getting my 9 warriors around round 21, we do get a good power spike. And it just happens, because I was quite high level. And with my high level, I found 2 Tidehunter and 1 Conquer, which is really nice. Now, finding this one also means my Medusa is kind of useless unless I want to keep her for the 4 Naga. It's good against mages, but I don't see a very powerful mage at the moment. And if you're wondering, yes, 9 warriors are still better than having Tidehunter down for now. But this is a neutral round. After this, I'll go to level 10. Of course, I don't want to have the 2-star Tidehunter sitting on the bench. In terms of choices for the neutral items, I want anything that gives us aura, anything that keeps us alive with more sustain. Because the more lifesteal you get, the more life regen you get, and also the more defensive you get, the more reflective pure damage you will do with 9 warriors. And I'm going to change the items a bit, give everything to the Doom, and Doom now have a bit of aura. And yes, I did craft the 2nd tier item because I know enemy is a little stronger. but I was too slow in deciding item, and that led to my warriors getting destroyed by the elementals. Elementals, especially the one with Shadow Fiend, deals a lot of burst damage. I did not have my Nagas done. Notice that Tidehunter was not on the field, and also we don't have the best positioning. So knowing that, what I'll do is I'll start to readjust my team and then getting my Nagas done. Let's have a look. And if you're wondering how come I'm so slow to adjusting, simply because the pin is too high and I can only do a few steps each of the run. With about 230 pin, sometimes I can make mistakes. And yes, I have a bit of health, so I've been a little greedy, not leveling up to level 10 right away, because there's no benefit in going to level 10 and then not getting experience until level 35. I noticed there's goblin players that is a direct counter to me. The 6 goblins and also 4 is it dandy? they do pure damage. They have tons of armor, they also do pure damage, they have tons of regen. This is a perfect counter for the warriors, but I'm not too concerned. For his build to work, he needs 3 stars, but he barely have any of the 3 stars. So that means he rushed to level 9, he just want to survive, and likely other players like the elementals or the elves or even the void players will take out of him, so I'm not too worried for him. But if he does survive and face me in an ultra late game, ideally I should have some really strong units like 2-star or 3-star Doom to counter him. So coming back to the positioning, I got the Tidehunter done and found the Troll Warlord. Now over here I will be removing early game warriors, which are only tier 1 warriors. These include Tiny, this include Axe, this can be Mars. Those units are not going to give us that much synergy. They also have less base stat compared to the purple and also legendary warriors. And higher base stats means better armor and also more reflective damage because you have more health. That said, one of the positioning I like with a warrior is having a unit in the front that directly takes damage and the rest of my warriors just follows up. But the downside is, if you do face anti-mage like this, well, you're not gonna have a good time. Luckily, my warriors followed up and we managed to stun him. I noticed that there's a lot of control. Warriors are not great against control, but what we're good at is taking damage and also reflecting the damage. The majority of the fight, my warriors were just controlled, and whatever damage we do, and together with Doom, was enough. It might look like he's controlling me, but as he hits me, he gets reflected. So yes, I did overdraw my economy a little bit, so I built up my economy, and we rinse and repeat. Now, it is very good to start rolling for your 2-star purple warriors around level 9. I only went to level 10 because I had the economy and also had a 2-star Tide sitting on the bench. And also 2-star Medusa. The Medusa is usually a default for the warriors, but having Tide is a little better. So if you don't have Tide, I like to have Medusa. The extra Naga really keeps us alive. So let's have a look at this. This was the elemental player that defeated me last time. So with better positioning, let's see how we go. I also found a few 3 stars. The Kite Hunter is getting silenced. Together with the stoning, he actually never got the Ravage off, which is a little unfortunate. And it doesn't look too good. Yes, unfortunately, at this stage of the round, we still lost to the Elemental, which is okay. But this also gets me thinking, if I keep losing to him, then I need to make adjustments that my team survives. We also found a few Sven. Now, I don't like Sven because he will take away Doom's demon synergy, but sometimes having additional Sven with higher base stats is also great compared to having just a Tiny or having a Mars. Any items we find around this stage, we want to make purple items. Most of the purple items give warrior a boost, whether it's increasing magical damage like Radiance, or maybe survivability like the Giant Ring. Nothing too special. I also found Refresher. Refresher is great on the Tide, Refresher is also great on the Doom. You can also get Spell Prison on the Doom, so he can Doom 2 targets. Together with Refresher, he can Doom 4 targets, which is really broken. Anytime you find IO, it's great. You can make legendary warriors, or you can make 3-star Doom with it. And yes, I took down the Tiny. The Tiny is too slow at this stage. So we're gonna fast forward a little bit. You can see with majority of the fights, the warriors are decent. Even though sometimes I lose, I don't lose too terribly. And this means I also pick the Shroud of Concealment. So I want to stay alive, keep my health, because right now I don't know what I'm countering. Whether it's going to be mages that face me in the late game, or whether it's going to be like, bizarre summoners, or whether it's going to be like, elves, whatever that's going to face me in the late game, I want to counter them with the units I have. So how do we counter mages? Well, we go for 2 Nagas and then 4 Nagas. And you can also go with 2 Stampede using Magnus and also the Center. How do you counter most of the other units is having more defensive capacities, having more armor, and also tank up together with ways of stunning them. Let's have a look at the fights. Oh yeah, remember the elemental player that we fought last time? Let's have a look at what happened this time. My Conquer and also my Doom had the perfect synergy of bolting and also dooming his units, so he never got the spells off. And if his Shadow Fiend doesn't get the spells off, well, it's not gonna work out for him, right? Now, my positioning might not be the best. Sometimes this positioning also makes the Titan too vulnerable. But my goal is to not let my warriors die too quickly due to AoEs. I'll change my positioning in the future. So let's have a look at what we're looking at. We're looking at a player that have Orcs and also Savagers, and likely he's gonna go into Void, because most Void players like to keep Legendaries and also purple units. We also have a 9 Undead, but the 9 Undead, there isn't anything too scary for now, and we can deal with physical damage. With the Lich, it's a little troublesome if he builds a really strong Lich. What I'm a little scared is going to be the Elemental player. The good thing is he doesn't have much health, so someone might take him out. And finally, the Void player can be a little scary, but we should be a good counter to him. We're one of the few that really counters Void, because we don't debuff enemies, we just tank up. Having a lot of armor means that Void units can't deal that much damage to us. We just have to out-tank them, and then he's in trouble. Let's have a look. Undead. So, Undead is great because they half your HP, but this doesn't affect my armor. And he doesn't have much HP. So you can see after the Tide casts the spells, and after we stun him, that's pretty much it. The Nine Undead is not great, because the damage per second versus the lifesteal we get from the Vadimir's Blessing and Vadimir's Offering, it's enough. Oh, look at this Troll Warlord and Svingo. This is why I went for the higher tier warriors, right? So, one player was defeated. I do believe... Oh, I think it was one of the Void players. Yeah, so now, let's see. I didn't check... Oh, the Void players still... So the Void players is still alive. And I think here we're facing the Elemental. I'm a little scared of the Elemental, as you can tell. My Titan never gets his spells off. So I realized the positioning might not be the best. Oh, he got the spells off. But you can see, one of the counters or the drawback for the warriors are the Void. And, well, oh no, sorry. One of the counters and drawback to the warriors are the elementals with Shadow Fiend. There's just too much burst for us to deal with at the moment. But I can deal with him if I build into 4 Nagas and reduce some of the warriors, which is definitely doable. 6 warriors is fine, and we don't need to reflect that much damage. Now this is planning for the future. So around round 26 to round 35, you're planning to counter whoever is left. That's only because I have more health. If I don't have much health at this moment, I'll actually just try to survive, go for higher places. So second to that, I'm also looking into ways of countering other players. One of the best way to counter the elemental player is actually having Stampede. His units need to cast. If I can get my Magnus and also Center to stun them, and then stop the elemental from casting for a few seconds, and then one can defeat him. Now against the neutral monsters we have no problem. And yes, I did roll for a purple item. Finding the Giant's Mane on the Doom is a great counter for the Void players. So much regen and also so much damage block. So I found my 2-star Magnus, and this gives me the option to go with Stampede. So usually with Stampede, I like to put 1 Stampede unit on each corner of the edge of the map, and this allows them to run to the middle, stunning all the units in the front and also along the way. It's a really good way to stun enemies and delay the spellcasting. Let's have a look. Now, most of my warriors are still at the back, so this ensures Titan can be the earliest to cast. But sometimes this doesn't really happen all the time. And the Titan is facing an anti-mage, two anti-mage. That you can see the Stampede idea works, and then after the Stampede, the units cast, and then stuns. But unfortunately, we're facing a Void, so all the control wasn't working that great. But I have more armor, we have a lot of tank ability, we can out-tank the warrior, which is the most important part. And here, notice that 2 of the player lost. I do believe the elemental player lost as well. I'm not sure if he lost to me. Oh yeah, he lost to me. Look at that. We defeated the elemental player with my positioning and also with my Stampede team. But it was on his ground. We didn't get to see it. So any 2-star warrior is really important, especially the legendary ones. So I'm fusing them with IOs. I realized I wasn't getting much synergy out of Warlock, and here what I want to do is finding my 3-star Doom will be the next way to go, and also finding any units that can be stronger in the later game. Now, I can swap my synergies again to go with more Nagas for any magic damage, having the Stampede just to counter the elemental, and finally, I can take out of the Stampede against the Void, because they're not getting stunned. Oh, look at the synergy. So notice that Stampede goes in, Stampede stuns, Shadowfiend doesn't get a cast, and then we bolt them. It is pretty cool, right? So warriors have so many options to counter enemies. You can even go with 4 Stampede against assassins and also mages and just trample them to death. And that's it. We defeated the player that I'm most scared of, and I know the final player I'm versing is going to be a Void player. Well, Void is not getting stunned, so let's throw in some Doom and take back the Magnus. So double Doom, more Dooms, more damage, more stats, which is great. What I didn't notice is he kept losing to me to the point that he decided to not go with Void. So I should have kept my Stampede units, and now I'm going to face all my warriors to the front so they tank up evenly together with the little, little auras coming from Doom and also heals and also refresher coming from Doom. He can have 2 item usage, which is great. Around this time, I noticed he actually went for 3 mages. I was like, that's not going to defeat me. I already have 2 Nagas, and my units are much stronger. So let's have a look at the final fight. It's a little anticlimactic because the real boss was the elemental player. Once he switched out of Void, he wasn't doing anything to me. And that was that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this high rank warrior game, and I try to make it and also explain it every step I go. It's important for you to understand the thought process and also the items I pick and also the positioning, because depending on different players, you'll have different counters. So 4 Nagas or 2 Nagas for the mages at least, and then 2 Stampede for a majority of the other players that is not a Void player. Finally, if you're facing players with pure damage and also players with a lot of armor, well, it's very hard to deal with that. Pure damage is the final counter. So a gyrocopter with the Havoc Hammer can counter warrior very easily. So this is when you need to find a tier 5 item, a Hex. And once you find the Scythe of Vice, you can counter those very powerful late game units. And those are just some of the tips. So have a look at this full replay at the end of the video and see how I progress with warriors. This is a very high rank game. I'm almost up to Queen now, and I'll be trying out different builds in different accounts. I have 2 accounts and both of them are Rook, and sometimes I drop them to Bishop to try different games and to see how it goes. So I'll keep you guys updated with similar builds and also great builds and also some really fun builds to come, including Shamans, including Panda Fishing, and also 3-star Stoom, 3-star, crazy pandas, which are really, really fun. And I'll see you guys next time.
Try to outsmart me and you'll just end up smarting.
Enchanted, I'm sure. Enchanted, I'm sure.
Through the forest like it's not even there.
Nightcrawler.
For the Kazurai.
At your service.
The Monkey King.
One way follows another.
Enchanted, I'm sure.
Some kind of
Trees are
fun.
not so good with motion, though. rises. Damnation. Tactical enemies found.
And I was beautiful. I never knew what I was missing.
Damn the deeps. Tusker, the hunter feasts. Monster kill!
Time to shove off.
The inferno blazes. Monster kill! Eyes up and shields front! The hunter. I need a
Time to shove off. Step lively now. Your admiral is on board. Yes, lads, we've reached safe harbor. Time to shove off.